Hey everybody, Matt here, Hollywood's Garage. Today we're going to be changing the fuel filters on the 6.4 Powerstroke. The big reason is these trucks' fuel filter should be changed every second oil change, because what'll happen is the bottom filter, I'll show you where the location is here in a little bit, but the bottom filter is what is this water separator is, and so with that water sitting in there, and you don't actually go down there and drain it every once in a while, there's a little valve you can open. That's how you actually drain it to change the filter as well. Water stays in there and eventually will mix up and get pushed through that filter, go in through your fuel system to your second filter, and then go into your injectors and plug those off, which will cause havoc on these trucks. These filters, when they're plugged open, they could dump a bunch of fuel, being such a high pressure fuel rail, which you don't want. That could go right into the bowl of the piston. And the way they're designed is like a bowl, a cup holds it. It can actually just boom, once it ignites, it'll crack that piston right in half. Especially being aluminum pistons in the 6.4, not a good idea. This truck sat for 4 years, according to the Carfax, and the kilometers when I got it. So it could have had new filters put in then, but I mean, diesel sitting for 4 years in a tank, through the temperature changes that Alberta gets, it could have a bunch of water in there. So I've only driven it like probably 200-300 kilometers since I purchased it. So I don't think I'd be worried too much, but we'll change those filters and we'll show you the procedure of all that. The filter kit you're gonna need is an FD4617. Only use Ford filters. And then obviously with the Ford filter caps as well. Anything else, even if you buy Wix, which we all know Wix is a good brand. I've used them for oil filters for all the time for my LS. But the Wix filter is not even designed the same. Though it'd be a little different, like the bottom filter, it doesn't have like little, kind of like a half-inch cup or a nipple on the end of the filter. It doesn't have the pre-screen filter on it as well. And that's a Wix, which is good. So always use Ford. They're not cheap, but if you do it every second oil change or every second year, depending on how much kilometers you put on or mileage or idle time, it's worth it. It could save you an engine. It could save you injectors, which are not cheap as well either. Neither is an engine, obviously. So to get going, we are going to go to the driver's side of the truck, and then pretty much right underneath the driver's, kind of in this area, will be that bottom filter. We'll change that out. So let me get a light out. We'll go up underneath there. We'll open up that drain. We'll let it start draining because it'll take a while. Get all that diesel out, and then we can go ahead and take the cap off using the, I think it's a 31 or 32 millimeter socket. Once I get that size, I'll tell you what that is, and then we'll unscrew the cap, make sure the filter is exactly the same, make sure the O-rings are still good and whatnot on the new filter, they're all in the right place, put a new O-ring on the cap, put it back in, clip it in, and we'll go on to the top filter. Top filter location is, this will be oil, fuel. So this will be the top location. This is super simple. Obviously it's right there, it's in your teeth, where that bottom one's a little more fun. So, okay, we'll start draining here. There's a location right there. You see it starting to drain already. Pretty much right underneath, or right beside the transmission. You'll see that. So that little yellow tab here, you just go, it goes from the back and you tilt it forward. Just let it drain. In the meantime, that's the cap you got to take off, and there's the socket it goes on. So I'll once I get that set up, I'll see if it's the best to have an extension off to get it behind this transmission cross member or not, or if it's right off, you can do it right in the front. We'll see how much has the best room to do it. But we'll let that drain till it's all drained out, so don't make a big mess when we take that cap off. Here we go. Slip it in some wiring harnesses. The size of the socket is a, what do we got here? 1 7/16. Make sure you close that valve, otherwise if you leave that open after you go to try to prime it, it's gonna make a mess. Ford's got to just jam things together. Little did I know that the previous guy ended up messing it up by putting the filter in, but when he did that, he pushed the spring out of his groove and pushed it onto the shaft with the filter, binding it up, making it hard to put it on and take it off. Took me over 2 hours to get that spring back in its groove. I had to cut about 1 inch of it off, be able to slide that filter on and make it work. It was not fun. There we go. It's got a wiggle. Want to leak back, I don't know where it wants to go. There we go. There, it's out. We'll go compare it to the old one. As you can see, here's the new one. There's the old one. There, still leaking a little bit of diesel. But that's the O-ring there. Make sure that comes out with it. And you see how there's a little hole right there, tip of my finger. Make sure that when you put the new one in, that's the up point. It's also where the dash is on this. That's how air bleeds out of the system when you go to fill it. So make sure this is up. Very crucial. Other than that, the filter looks fine. I don't see any issues with it. New one looks exactly the same. A lot lighter, obviously. It's not saturated. It's good there. Comes with a new O-ring. The O-ring is going to be for the cap. So grab the cap, grab a pick, take it off. Struggle a little bit like I do. Makes it more fun. Make sure it goes back in the proper groove. It's easy to mess this one up. You'll see there the groove that it goes in. If you get it stuck in the thread, you're going to have leaks. So put it back in the groove. Next thing is get a bit of either diesel from what you drained or some sort of oil or grease. I'm going to use Lubriplate and just lube up that O-ring, because you don't want that to tear when you go to screw it back in. There. Goes on nice and smooth. Okay, we'll go back under the truck. We'll get the filter pushed in and the cap screwed back on. So like I said, make sure that little pointy part there, the little tab on the end, goes straight up, because that's where the air bubble is going to be. You want the air bubbles at the top so air can get out of the system. And I think it only goes in one way when you push it in, to be honest. Welcome back. Let's do the top one now. Top one, of course, will be the right one, looking at the vehicle, so driver's side. Ooh. Oh, there we go. So have that one tight. There it is. Oh. Let it pour in. Don't want to waste that precious diesel fuel. At $1.70 a liter now or something. It's like 40 cents more than regular gas. Let that just drain. I got the new O-ring on. Make sure it's in the groove. Put some lithium grease on it. See the grooves on that top of that? And there's got a whole groove inside of there. You gotta snap it in place. And push it back in and turn. Just be gentle with it. There you go. A little bit of authority, but don't have to treat it like it owes you money. nice and tight. For priming these vehicles, it's going to be 8 times of key cycle for about 10 seconds per key cycle. They say 6 to 10 times cycle the key, but better luck doing about 8 times. You don't want no air in that system. So let's go ahead and do that. Once I'm done my 8 key cycles, 10 seconds a piece, almost like you're letting glow plug set, go ahead and start it. Just finished up the 8th key cycle. Let's see how it works out. So far, so good. Let's look for leaks. Nothing yet. It's all good there. Okay, everybody, that's how you change your fuel filters on your 6.4 Powerstroke. A lot of diesels are about the same. There's even European cars that use that same kind of screw cap, cartridge style fuel filter, oil filter. It's pretty handy. I had a little issue with my primary fuel filter housing, which is also your fuel pump. Little spring there, there's a spring behind a little, I guess, a flapper that pushes in when you tighten the filter. Kind of keeps it, seats it in tight. Someone went in there ahead of time and had the spring popped out when they pushed the filter on and bent the spring. It was a hell of a time trying to put that filter on. It's supposed to just go on nice and easy. I had to like manhandle it. It was not fun. And of course, you can't just buy the spring. You have to buy the whole new housing. And since it's a pump, Ford wants like $700 for it. You can probably go to a junkyard, a couple $100 if you need it, just because of a stupid spring. Anyway, I got it to work. I was able to get the spring to stay down. Cut it a little shorter, bent it, did what I had to do. Obviously it worked, so time will tell. Okay guys, well, that's another one for the truck here. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, like, subscribe, hit the alert button. Any comments, let me know. Hopefully you guys enjoy these videos, and there'll be more to come. And then in the future, there'll be some LS swap stuff too. Obviously not for the truck, for my car, but okay, we'll see you guys on the next one.